meeting law, we are informing you that the district will be videotaping this public meeting. In addition, if anyone else intends to either video or audio tape this meeting, they are required to inform the chair. I'm calling the meeting to order at 3:30. Are there any agenda changes, Mr. Conrad?
No, no.
All right. Do we have any citizens who wish to speak?
I don't see anybody out there.
All right, thank you. Priority business, administrators reports. We'll start with Mrs. Pender.
Thank you very much, Gail. It's nice to see all of you. We have returned from April vacation, refreshed, revived, and glad to see the sunshine today. I first just want to recognize the PTC. If you drive up to our school right now, you will see all kinds of adornments that recognize spring, from baseballs to ice cream cones to flowers. And it's so encouraging and so bright and pretty. On top of that, spring is one of the most beautiful times on these grounds, and the town has been working on the grounds a lot in the past month. The beds are weeded and mulched, and all the spring flowers are coming out. They've been pruning back some of our bushes, and I have to tell you, it probably looks more beautiful this year than any year. So I just want to thank the town, the Parks Department. Cheryl is retiring, and she's always done a really nice job, but it looks fantastic. And the PTC has also just made such an effort to beautify the place. There's extra flowers around a couple of flower beds. Just looks, it was wonderful to come back to today. And of course, watching all the kids jump off the bus and out of their cars with their smiling faces. They're a little sleepy this morning, but other than that, we're glad to be back. I also want to just thank, on the idea of being outside, Helene Simon is continuing to support our garden, and she's working with Rachel Love and all the classrooms. So they're all taking a garden bed or a planting, and it's starting to come alive out there too. So it's nice. We have our tent up. Classrooms are outside again. Children are on their lawn chairs. You know, it's nice to welcome spring with solid education, motivated kids, motivated teachers. And I also want to recognize that our parents have been incredibly accommodating and flexible this year. It's a year when anything can happen, and they've had to really be in partnership with us. And parent engagement is different than it ever was. It really is engaging in students learning and working together and supporting. Sometimes work at home with iPads when children have to quarantine, picking up supplies. They've been incredible. And when I have to pick up the phone and make phone calls and have someone on the other end say, thank you, and yes, and we appreciate everything you're doing. It's really touching, and it makes everything worthwhile because our kids are still thriving, believe me. So that's it for right now.
Thank you, Elaine. Any questions for Elaine? All right.
Yeah, I have a question.
Hank?
Just on the enrollment projections for next year, are you getting in any large number for kindergarten and first graders, and some of the homeschool people? Will some of those come back? What's your assessment? That's all.
Yeah, no, I think that's a great question, and I was remiss in not just bringing your attention to that. We only have 3 remote students now, so that is very encouraging. Yes, I do believe, and I've heard from some of our homeschool parents who will be returning. I don't know how many yet, so but I would plan for them, you know, to make sure that we can have enough room in each of the classrooms for all our students. But I do know that we'll be getting that information before the end of the year. Our kindergarten class looks like about 26 right now. You know, it's a good number. Those aren't confirmed yet, but we have potential of about that. Sometimes parents make a change. They decide to do another year preschool. Sometimes they move, you know, but we're doing kindergarten registration presently. It's all online.
Okay, thanks. One other question, if I may, Gail, on the preschool enrollments, of whether, since Orleans doesn't do any subsidy for preschools like some of the other towns in the Cape are doing, I was just wondering, are all of the preschool kids going to private preschool? That are all the kindergartners that are going to come in next year and this year, were all of them at private preschools that they had to pay for?
The majority of our students do go to private preschool in the area.
But if we provided, like Wellfleet and other towns, these vouchers for, would this be used in Orleans in your estimation? Would families partake more if we don't have 100% now, and plus a lot of the economic hardship on many of these students? We could push this in the town if we get some assessment from you and what you think of parents would use it.
I think any form of support of young families is just huge, you know, and I fully support preschool programming, you know, children having access to learning at an early age, you know, from 3 to 5. Anything that a town can do to support young families is going to be beneficial in the long run.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Elaine, and when you register new kindergartners, do you actually gather information about their preschool experience?
Yes, yes.
All right, so perhaps at some point that may be worth discussing, and to look at what Hank is talking about in terms of supporting our families. And perhaps even, you know, once we get that information, perhaps we could even look at some kind of summer workshop where we would be in a better position to really look at this and plan for it based on information, the most current information that we have. So.
Sounds great.
Okay, thank you. So keep us posted.
Mhm.
All right, Mr. Conrad, your report, please.
So thank you very much, Gail. The first piece I'd like to let the board know is that I have a tentative agreement with our new full-time technology, teaching curriculum and assessment position. And the piece that I think is amazing is that this person's only dream job is working in curriculum and assessment. She has no interest in going up to be a superintendent or any other position. And the committee was in full support of this candidate, and I am most impressed, and looking forward to having another meeting right away to see if we can firm this up. So it's very exciting. She is so enthusiastic and full of energy, and has a great background in a number of areas of this field. This is the dream job for her. So it's fantastic. So the other piece I am really focused on over the next couple of weeks, work on our summer programs. Obviously, our ESSA grants and the federal backing for students who have fallen behind is impressive. And there is absolutely no reason why we can't have a robust program relative to our summer plans. So we're working very hard on that. I wanted to let you know that the middle school moved forward with bringing back the vast majority of their students back into the school. And Keith and his staff have done a wonderful job in terms of the planning. They basically had to come up with a new schedule. And I can tell you that in my conversations with Chris Alsassa, we are planning that the high school students will be back on May 10th. And we anticipate a large percentage of those students to come back onto campus. So that's obviously by directions of the commissioner's office. And we believe that the students are going to be excited to come back in. So that's where we stand. I can't hear you. I can't hear you.
All right. Any questions for Mr. Conrad? Josh, I want to go back to you. It seemed like you had a question and I had already called on Mr. Conrad, so.
Yeah, no worries. I just wanted to kind of support Hank's line of questioning there around and conversation around preschool and looking at some vouchers. I know it's come up a couple times over the years, but I would love for the committee to devote a chunk of time to looking at it, because I think it even beyond ensuring that we have well-prepared kindergarten students, that it just helps show a more kid-friendly, family-friendly, supportive town. So I think that it would be awesome if we could maybe talk to some of our people in Wellfleet or do a little homework and figure out exactly how they got their program started. But getting it on an agenda for some time once I'm gone would be good.
Okay. Yeah, I'd like to plan it to do something in the summer when we have more information and we'll have a new school committee member on board. So thank you, Josh. We are now moving on to the public hearing on school choice. Mr. Conrad, would you like to address that in any way?
So the process of what we're about to do is a requirement by the commissioner's office and so forth. And we must vote to go in to this segment. We'll see if anybody from the community wants to speak about the issue of school choice. And once that's completed, we vote to come back out, and that's the process that we have to go through.
So
I'll make a motion that we move into a public hearing on school choice.
Thank you, Josh.
Need a second? All right. Ginger? And then we need to go
Roll call vote.
a roll call vote. Josh Stewart,
Josh Stewart, aye.
Ginger Marks,
Ginger Marks, aye.
Hank Schumacher,
Hank Schumacher, aye.
and Gail Breer, aye. All right. Anyone want to, Mr. Conrad, do you want to start us
No.
off here?
No, we're just asking to see if there's anybody in the audience who would like to speak to the
All
subject.
right. I do not see anyone in the audience. So,
This is their opportunity to say anything if they wanted to show up and speak on this subject. It gives them that right. It appears that no one is interested in speaking on this subject. So within just a very short period, you can close this down and you vote to go back out.
all right, and do we have to vote on this before we close out the public hearing process?
No, we're going to close the public hearing and then you can speak to it amongst yourselves.
Okay,
I make a motion that we leave our public hearing on school choice.
Second.
all right. I need a roll call vote. Josh Stewart,
Josh Stewart, aye.
Ginger Marks,
Ginger Marks, aye.
Hank Schumacher,
Hank Schumacher, aye.
and Gail Breer, aye. Okay, our public hearing on school choice is completed.
Yep.
All
And
right.
the question is Orleans going to do anything with school choice this year?
Any committee member want to comment?
Gail, Josh.
Josh, did you want to say something?
Yeah, no, it's always an interesting conversation. I know that I'm prepared to most likely vote in favor of not participating, as we have in the past few years, but just always willing to take a look at enrollment numbers and budget, and being mindful of our slight downward trend probably in population. But again, also fully realizing that elementary choice is not ever going to bring us large numbers of any kind. But I'm unless there's other people speaking against it, I would be happy to see us vote to not participate.
Hank?
Yeah, just to add to what Josh said, it's not that we negatively are against school choice at all, but is there a need from other towns, or is it strictly on a family by family basis? Like a few years ago when we had somebody who wanted to come in and we voted against that. If I would tend to say, let's be as flexible as possible. And when there are special needs of families that are maybe in our surrounding towns that want to come here for various reasons, that we should be open, since we have plenty of space this year. And it looks like with Elaine's projection of a small kindergarten class again, that we probably have space for that, because that dovetails nicely then into the program in middle school and high school, which we have open. And I know none of the elementary schools in our district are open, but I believe others are, like in Monomoy, Chatham, and Harwich. So I just wanted to keep that in mind. Thank you.
Mr. Conrad, does Wellfleet participate in school choice?
They have over the last couple of years for 1 or 2 seats at all. That's all.
I would be very hesitant to even consider that this year because of the, we do have small numbers, but we also have, we've utilized our staffing to create very small numbers in our classrooms because of COVID. And we don't really know what we're coming back to in September. So I would lean more towards not voting for school choice. So if somebody is prepared to make a motion, I would say we could move on.
I think that's an excellent point, and I will make a motion that Orleans Elementary not participate in school choice for the 21-22 school year.
I need a second.
Second.
Ginger? All right. Any further discussion? All right, Josh Stewart
Josh Stewart, aye.
for not participating. Ginger Marks,
Ginger Marks, aye, for not participating.
Hank Schumacher.
Hank Schumacher, aye.
All right, and Gail Breer, aye. Thank you.
Thank
We're
you.
moving on. We're moving on to the discussion and vote on the FY22 and 5-year capital plan. And I'm not sure who's going to be addressing this.
I'm not sure whether Ron was able to make it this afternoon. I don't see him.
Yeah, I don't either. Giovanna, would you like to give it a shot?
Sure. We made an adjustment to the capital plan for fiscal '22. We removed the $15,000 that was earmarked for engineering for sinks and restrooms. So the previous total capital projects to be funded was $355,000. With the removal of the engineering for sinks and restrooms of $15,000, that brings us down to a total capital project for fiscal '22 to $340,000.
Are there questions from the school committee regarding the change? Yes, Hank?
Yeah, why was that changed? If the restrooms and the sinks were not needed, now they're taken out for the rest of the 5 years?
That was for the engineering, but there's money earmarked in fiscal '24, $70,000 for that piece. That $15,000 was an initial,
Engineering.
to see what the total cost would be, but there's funds available in '24 for that. So we should be all set.
Okay, one other question on the bottom of the chart, the MSBA, we're trying to get funding then from the MSBA for fiscal year 21. It says apply SOI January to February. Have we already applied?
The window has opened. We received notification from our MSBA counterparts that MSBA has opened the window to submit a statement of interest. So Jim will be working on that for I believe the windows and the roofs at OES. So he'll be putting that forth in the next couple of weeks.
And considering the roofs, I know we discussed this about 5 years ago with the other options, rather than just reapplying the same asphalt roofs for 1.1 million. And we had looked into putting solar panels up there at one time, and we had a proposal, I think, for my generation several years ago, but we never acted on that. So I'm just wondering what Ron Collins and the town and what is anybody looking at alternatives, or just, especially when we're supposed to be a net zero town, to put another tar paper roof on.
That'll be a conversation with Ron.
Yeah. Well, I hope we can have it, more with the town environmental committee as well. If the town wants us to be net zero, this isn't helping. And if the school's not going to put even a proposal for canopies over the parking lot like middle school is doing, or elsewhere, we're not really adding anything. We're just perpetuating our same energy uses. So I think we need a little bit more in depth than just with Ron.
But it seems like Ron is the first person that we should be talking to. And given the fact that he's not here, I suggest that we try to get Ron Collins here for our next meeting. And would that be possible, Mr. Conrad, to contact him?
Yes, it will.
Okay, thank you very much. So we will revisit the solar panels and that whole discussion at our
Next
May
meeting.
meeting. All right. So we need to vote on this capital plan. This is version 2 dated 4/26. And the total capital projects to be funded in FY22 are 340,000. So I need a motion to approve this capital plan.
I will move the, yeah. go ahead,
Okay.
Hank.
All right, Hank, I saw your hand up, so.
Yeah, I thought since we're not going to really be able to, we're spending $200,000 for the design for the roof again. And that's going to be, if we don't do that, or we have another option, shouldn't we wait until we've met with Ron and maybe others to decide whether you're going to spend that $200,000 on something you might not be doing?
So my question would be, if we don't approve this, will it not go on the warrant?
It's
And I
on
don't know,
it's on the warrant.
It's
it's
on.
on the warrant, so we have to approve this to be able to act on it.
Correct.
All right. So
All right. Well, I mean,
Hank, I'm gathering that you did not make the motion, then you raised your hand for a question.
Right.
All right. Okay. So again, this is on the warrant and we need to formally approve this. So if I could have a motion to approve this.
I will make a motion that we approve the Orleans Elementary School 5-year capital plan from fiscal year 22 to 2026.
All right, based on version 2
As
dated
presented.
4/26/2021. All right, and I need a second.
Second.
Ginger, all right, I need a roll call vote. Josh?
Josh Stewart, aye.
Ginger Marks?
Ginger Marks, aye.
Hank Schumacher?
Hank Schumacher, aye.
And Gail Breer, aye. Thank you. FY21 budget expenditure report, Giovanna?
Thank you. Let's go directly to page 9 of the report. The prior month balance was $89,538. We spent or encumbered $29,755, leaving a balance of $59,783. I'm going to go over the line items that had more than $1,000 movement since last month's report. Starting on page 1 at the top of the page, line item 3003, salary central office. We put back into the budget $1,313 since last month's reporting. Moving on to page 3, towards the middle of the page, line item 3019, salaries ed assistants. We spent or encumbered $1,501 since last month's reporting, and that's due to stipends that had to be paid for toiletry for the students. The next line item 3021, contracted services instruction. We spent or encumbered $1,820 since last month's reporting. Line item 3070, special education salaries ed assistants. We spent or encumbered $2,169 since last month's reporting. And that's also due to additional costs for services that the Ed assistants have to do for these students. Moving on to page 5, towards the middle of the page, line item 3041, substitute nurse. We spent or encumbered $1,055 since last month's reporting, and that's the need for coverage to cover absences and additional time required of the head nurse as a result of COVID-19. Moving on to page 6, towards the middle of the page, line item 3075, special education out-of-district transportation. Here we received additional bills from the collaborative, and the movement since last month's reporting was $5,000. We will be receiving a credit of $1,300 in next month's reporting, so we'll see that credit come through. Moving on to page 7, towards the middle of the page, line item 3061, natural gas. We made an adjustment here based upon the amount that we have consumed in natural gas. We had to charge an additional $3,000 since last month's reporting. And that's all based on usage. The next line item 3062, the electricity, same thing here. There was a reduction of $2,000 since last month's reporting, and that's all based on what we've expended so far and projecting out for the remaining part of the school year. Moving on to page 8, towards the top of the page, line item 3056, contracted services equipment. We spent or encumbered since last month's reporting $4,939, and that's all based on need required for repairs and maintenance to the HVAC, the plumbing, and the electrical systems. The next line item 3058, contracted services extraordinary maintenance. Here we had to bring in an exterminator to treat for termites, and that was $8,120. The last item on page 9, line item 3098, special education tuition collaborative. We had an adjustment here. We put back into the budget $1,337 as the therapies were not required. So we made an adjustment here. We also have, I just wanted to make you aware, we still have $35,371 in substitute line items that have not been spent at this time. So we'll continue to monitor that. And we also do have money available in circuit breaker, $26,035, as well as money in school choice, $10,224. So the budget is tracking nicely at this time, and so we'll continue to monitor, and the goal is to get to the end of the school year with some savings and to prepay some expenses like we typically do. Any questions?
No.
Okay.
Okay, thank you, Giovanna. All right, reports and information. Cape Cod, Ginger?
I'm not sure if I'm losing my mind or not, but we voted on the 5-year capital plan, but did we vote on the FY22 budget?
Yes, we did. We voted on that last month.
Okay, because I looked at my agenda. There, sorry, never mind.
I am correct, right, Arlen? We had a public hearing in February and we voted on it in February.
Because it's in our agenda for today to vote on the FY22. That's the only reason I'm asking.
Oh, it was the,
It was just the 5-year capital plan.
I think it was just the 5-year capital plan,
Okay,
yes.
thank you,
Yeah.
just double checking.
Moving on to reports and information, Cape Cod Collaborative, Hank?
We had our meeting in April, on April 14th, and things are moving along sort of as planned. Most of the students are back. They hope to continue the sandwich program with Waypoint Academy with signing an extension of the lease there until June of 22. But that's not confirmed. They're still looking for a new location for Waypoint, and it looks like more and more that could be in Yarmouth. which will be closer for most of our students who are participating in the special needs program. So they're actually have signed a lease there in Yarmouth for the school that's presently vacant, and that will be updated and used for special programs and things. The middle school, basically at the Waypoint Academy, it has increased by 2 students, and the high school is steady. That hasn't changed. Whereas in the STAR program in Osterville, we have it's fairly steady, and about 7 students or 17 students have transitioned back to the districts, and some to Waypoint. So that's kind of an interesting thing that they've actually transitioned back. They're planning the summer program with the Massachusetts Maritime Academy, the ASLP program for secondary school students. And they hope that that's going to be the first 2 weeks in July. And it was last summer that was canceled because of the COVID epidemic. And Dr. Bogdan in the Sheltered English Immersion Program, there's 21 new registrants in that program. So things are going along. Everything is on course. We're working on a new strategic plan that's been in the planning for some time, and the budget seems to be above board. So that's basically the gist of it.
Thank you, Hank. Any questions for Hank? Seeing none. PTC report, I'm not sure that anybody, perhaps Elaine, is there anything that you think that we should know about PTC? I know that Sassy usually provides a report, but she's not here.
I know that they have some wonderful things planned for our teachers for Teacher Appreciation Week. And I know they have a very exciting activity planned for the last month of school for all the kids, but I'm not gonna let the cat out of the bag because.
Okay, all right. Stay tuned.
They've just been consistently supportive all the way through. And it's just gone a long way, but they've been really careful about everything that they've done to support the kids, the families, and the teachers and the staff. We're doing one book, one school, one book, where they're working really closely with our librarian, our Carrie Ewan, and our reading specialist / 4th grade teacher, Martha Jenkins. So that will be launching towards the end of the year to, I think, bring the school together. And the PTC has found sponsors and are buying all the books and the program. So that's kind of support that really, again, engages learning, community, family, businesses, everything together. And we're just really appreciative of everything they've done because it's been really carefully thought out this year. And everything they've done has supported us to do what we're trying to do.
A great collaboration.
It
Great
really,
collab-
it's
yeah.
amazing, amazing.
Yeah, thank you. School council, Elaine?
Yeah, we met earlier in the month and we had a really nice, aside from going over our budget and the principal's report and even our health updates, the group is really a nice group. And we actually talked a little bit more about where we see the need in the future as we move forward out of some of our COVID protocols. And when we know we'll be keeping some, but the group individually and collectively was able to make contributions, and everyone really feels strongly that mental health supports, are going to be consistently needed. They're not just going to go away, but we want to make sure that we're supporting our children with enrichments and social opportunities and connections, those meaningful experiences that support people, all of our social emotional health. Community is really important to the group. The idea of connecting students with community experiences, real life experiences, meaningful experiences, which has always been a hallmark of OES, and also inviting community in. So finding ways to use the community resources to extend learning. and promoting that kind of global connection too, to also connect with diversity of self. All of us are different, and the world. That's critical. And also just to connect, make sure that we are instilling all kinds of learning here that extends lifelong learning, not short-term, but lifelong learners, children who are curious, inquisitive, confident, innovative, and really thinking about every practice that we do, and are we instilling these things that will help children become lifelong learners. And that just dovetails or really embodies the deeper learning, and those deeper learning experiences that, again, have connection, purpose, are a little messy, make mistakes, work together, be creative, are equitable. Equitable is the most important right now for us to always be designing our learning experiences that are equitable for all and push all children to reach their potential, and include that empathetic understanding of each other, awareness of self and others. So it was a really great meeting, because you get some of these, we kind of launched off of the district strategic plan, and then tried to connect it a little bit more with what does that mean for us. So we'll continue that work, and have visions for the future.
It was very clear that you had the district's, that the strategic plan was, a guiding, had a guiding role in the areas that you talked about. So thank you for that.
Thank you.
Policy Subcommittee. Josh?
Yeah, we have a meeting this week with 2 items on the agenda. One to look at the student responsible use policy for technology, and to look at a anti-racism resolution from MASC. So no new news, but an upcoming meeting that I look forward to reporting on in a month.
Okay, thank you. Negotiations Subcommittee. Our subcommittee has concluded our negotiations with the teachers, and I know that the union president and vice president have met with our HR person and are working on putting those contract changes in so that it can be presented to the membership so that they can vote on it. Once that happens, then that will be coming to the joint committee for the joint committee's approval. So I am pleased to announce that we finished that. I think we finished it anyways. So, Behavioral Health Task Force. Ginger.
Sorry about that. Didn't go. There was, the last meeting was canceled, and we don't have another one until May. So I'll have something to report then.
All right, thank you. The Strategic Plan Subcommittee, I'm thrilled that we have a Director of Curriculum, Teaching, and Assessment hired. I think that that's critical in moving our strategic plan forward. So I'm hoping that come, July 1st, with this person in place, that this strategic plan can begin its implementation process. So preschool enrollment is included in your packet. Are there any questions on that? Seeing none, then we need to approve the minutes of March 15th, 2021. Do I have a motion?
I
Ginger?
make a motion that we approve the minutes of March 15th, 2021.
I need a second.
I will second, but also request that spelling of my name be corrected in the second to last thing on there. I think I'm a steward instead of a steward at the very bottom.
Instead of a T.
Other than that,
Okay.
I don't want Josh Stewart to get all the credit for something amazing someday.
All right, so let's do a roll call vote. Josh Stewart. All right.
Oh,
Ginger
sorry,
Marks?
Josh Stewart, aye. Yep.
Ginger Marks,
Ginger Marks, aye.
Hank Schumacher,
Hank Schumacher, aye.
and Gail Breyer, aye. And at this point, I need a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion that
So
we
moved.
adjourn.
Oh, second.
All right, Ginger made the motion, Josh seconded it. And roll call, Josh,
Josh Stewart, aye.
Ginger Marks,
Mark's eye.
Hank Schumacher,
Hank Schumacher, yay.
and Gail Greer, aye. Thank you very much. Enjoy this weather. Well,